Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today, we're going to talk about Farming Simulator 17. The tips and tricks that have helped me get to where I am on that game today. First, when you first start the game out, I recommend, if you're a beginner at the game, I recommend going to like the easy to normal mode. Because if you go hard, you'll go broke like in a second, and it's just really annoying to get past the part. Plus, the fact is, if you're on easy mode, you can learn the basics. You can learn which crops make more money, which you can figure out the basics of like driving the tractors, the hiring workers, the whole 9 yards. Well, for me, I found that my big money maker on the game is canola, like the oil, but the seeds that grow canola. I do that because I grow. For me, I have I think I have 9 or 10 of the farms on the game because I'm a boss like that, and I'm gotten really good at the game now. And I grow canola on it, and every so often, a few of the places like the baker's mill and the mill and the bakery buy your stuff. So the mill buys your soybeans and your grain, and the bakery buy most of your your wheat. So if you do that stuff, and you get good money for it, trust me. If you sell both to both places, you get big money for them. And every time the market changes on the game, you can sell more stuff. I haven't quite figured out how to do the get the cows and all that stuff yet. But I've been more working with like the farming part aspect of I have an orchard now. I have I think I have 12. I didn't know I have 15 apple trees now. And as long as you keep them watered, they grow and they produce money for you, and it's a big and you'll make some serious money on it. I also have greenhouses on it. So I have a one that grows tomatoes and I have one that grows lettuce. And as long as you keep those watered and you have plenty of manure to keep them going, it will produce a lot of stuff for you, and you'll get big time money for it. Now, the one issue that a lot of people, what you might always know is I always stick to normal because it's easier to do. Because for me, I put it on hard. I play on normal, the hard ones a lot. But the issue with hard, though, for people who've never played the game before, is if you play on hard mode, your crops die, and you have to be on your game because the second that thing turns gold, the second the wheat turns like a golden color, you harvest that. You get it gone. You harvest it, and you either store it or you sell it. Because if you wait too long, it dies, and then you lose your profit, and yeah, it's junk then. Now, one thing also I learned on this about the game is this. I spent one of the big things you should learn is to always know what you're using. Because I went through them when I first got there, and I got the tractor, and I realized that the tractor, if you have just one tractor, you get to the point where you'll have one guy plowing a field, and you'll have someone cultivating the field here. But then if you have two other ones, those have to wait. But if you're smart about it, you buy 3 tractors. For me, what I did for me, what made my life a whole lot easier, is I played it smart and I didn't I kept the field plain, but I worked on this one field and just kept making money. And I used it to make enough money to buy 3 tractors and 3 cultivators, so I could use 3 for all 3 fields, and bang. Well, now that I have 12 of them now, 12 fields, I usually will use the ones that take longest to grow. I'll put them there. And for just a little FYI, if you grow potatoes on the game, potatoes need a the potato part potatoes need a machine that comes through and it lops the tops off, the little stems off top, and then the second machine comes through and it pulls them up out of the ground, and the third one collects it. So you need 3 machines for the potatoes. But if you have corn and all that stuff, your regular harvester can do it all. Your harvester, 3 harvester combines. If you have corn, soybeans, and all that stuff, one cultivator, your harvester can do it all, which makes it nice. But it will not do potatoes, and it will not do the sugar beets. Those are the 2 big ones when they do the change things. Also, if you do sugar beets, the lines on the field, it puts lines in them. It lops the top off them, and you have to have a little machine. It's like a beet harvester thingy that comes through them, and it plucks them out of the ground. That's also separate. So just make sure you know what that part is. Now, the one thing that kind of bugged me at first about it is the seasons part. Because when the seasons change on the game, the first thing when I first figured it out, it didn't really specify what happens when it rains on the game. But when it rains, you can't harvest. You can't harvest anything. So when it rains, that's a good time for you to do maintenance on all your. Make sure when it rains on thing, it's good to always make sure you do maintenance on all your machines. Make sure everything's up to par. Because when you do normal mode, every wear and tear happens, and you will have to replace it. And to tell you the thing, yes, you do have to maintenance everything, because I've gone through 3 trucks so far on that game and 2 tractors, because I basically just drove them into the ground. Now, 2 other big money makers you can get is hay, but you require a baler for that. You can mow your grass on your property on the game, mow the grass in lines, use a baler to pick it up, and it puts it in the hay bales, and then you take what your forklift or your one of the tractors, you pick the hay bales up, and you look with a bale spike, pick them up and take them to your. And there's a big red barn that has 3 hay bales, like 3 big hay bales in a triangle on it. Take it there, drop it, and push it to the door, and it gives you money for it. Also, the one big thing that is really, really helpful in this is my big recommendation for this is this. Always use the bees. If you have the money on the game, I think it's like $250. I think it's like $3,000. I think it is for the bees. It's 5,000. Sorry, 5,000. It's 5,000 for the bees. No, it's $20,000 for the bees. Sorry, $20,000 for the bees. Take the bees and set them up. Set them up like how many do you have? I think it's like $2,000 for the bees. Set them up. They make and it's automatic money, so you have nothing to do with it. You don't have to worry about that. Same thing with your greenhouses. They instant money. They instantly sell them. Now there is a wood chipper. There's this one machine. It's a grinder. It sets it up on your. It's an on thing. It's an automatic setup. You set it up and take the logs you cut down, like logs you have trees and cut down. Take the logs, put it on there, and it cuts through, and it automatically sells it to the mill that sells it for the wood chips. Instant money. Great investment. I highly recommend these. Now, the one thing that I have noticed a lot about it that was kind of annoying at first is sometimes when the game has it. One thing that I've noticed about it that's kind of annoying is when you're building things, like when you use the cultivator. The cultivators, if the plot isn't perfectly square, the cultivator the plow will go in its route, but it will leave a portion, a section here, still not plowed, harvested. So what happens is basically you go and when you're done plowing and it's done with the job, you take it and you have to manually drive it around and finish that little section off, a little piece off. And what I highly recommend to do is you always make sure you sell it. You sell all your. If you can store it, that's great. But if during the game you'll get this little message on the bottom of your screen. They'll say now's a good time to sell because there's having a big the sale on it is really high right now. So if you sell your products, you can make good money. Sell, sell, sell. Take your combine to either the mill, the one mill area, the grain place. It's called something grain place, or the bakery. Sell your corn or your wheat there, and they will give you money for it. Now, the hopper part, if you put your stuff into a hopper and have it dump in there, it has an issue. It does not always work. So I found what works best is take the whole combine down there and drive up on the side, so that when the arm swings out, it just dumps it right into the little thing, and you get money for it. Works like a charm. And also, when you build cattle pastures on your field, make sure, and I can't emphasize this enough, make sure that your fences are level, because if they're not, you will get, the second you buy cows, your cows end up in that area where the cows are held there in the lot, and you get charged for it. So make sure that when you build your pasture, make sure that the fences are level. And if you have to redo the fence a couple times, do it. But make sure that your fences are level, because if not, it bites you in the butt, and you'll have to pay for it, and your cow, and it will be because of the deal. Now, and for me, what I did is, when you first start out in the game, you get like 3 plots of land. Well, what I did is I wanted to make sure that I owned enough land so I could have different things growing at different times. Now, there's a section on there, I think it's number 24. I think it's 24, number 24 on the list on the farm things. It's $400,000. But the key to getting it down to the prices lower is the farmer who owns it. If you do favors for him, like if you plow his fields for him, they lower the price down to a point where you can actually afford them, and then you can buy them. That is it is a money maker. Or it can break you, depending on how you look at it. And one other thing that is really big and very, very important about this is when you're playing, always be smart about what you do. Don't buy the biggest, fanciest tractor or plow or everything. Buy what you can afford on the game, and use that until you can make enough money to buy something a little upgraded. Because if you go all out and just buy things, you will go in debt in a hurry, and it is bad. Oh, and one thing that I found out that in there that I saw that was kind of interesting is if you go to the mods section of the game, and yes, there is a mods section on the game. When you go to the menu thing, it will say mods. There is a mod on this game, and it's a $. It will give you $10,000 every hour on the hour, and it works well for, like, if you're a beginner. I never used it because I never really saw the point of it. But one thing I did do is I made another save file. I made another file on my game, and that file is just my goof around thing, just to see like what the mods do and stuff. Because you gotta be careful, because some mods will screw your game up. Just to let you know. Like there's one mod on there that I saw where it changes the seasons to it. But what happens is most times you get on the game. When you get in your truck, you get in the car, you turn the car on, the car turns on automatically, and you can back out and go. What happens is, if you turn one of these mods on, it makes it so that you have to press the X button on your Xbox controller to turn the motor on, and so you can back out and go. And also, one big advice that I give to you all is this: when you're playing, always make sure that your tractor has a weight on the front of it, because sometimes the tractor may be too small for what you're trying to pull, and your tractor will do this, and then it will tip over, and it's annoying as crap because once it does it, you have to reset it every time, and it's annoying as all get out. So just do that. And one more advice I give when I play is this: always make sure that you. I am a big supporter of the fact that I keep my my farm on my game pristine. I keep everything in line where I keep all my grain, my seeds, and my fertilizers all in one area, so that I know where it's at, and how much I have of it. And I always make sure I know where everything's at. And I always make sure how much I have of it, so if I need to order more of it, I can get more. Also, and this is for people who want to learn the basics, always be cautious about two things. If you have the little small farm truck, there's two kind of. I think there's two trucks in the game. There's this big Ford, big truck, and then there's this little small farm Ford truck that's a little farm below the ground. The small farm truck works really well for like certain things, but it does not work good for pulling big stuff, because what happens is the truck bed will lower to the ground like this, and your car will basically do this. It will go side to side. The big one can pull most things. And I know a lot of people have been here. I know there's a mod in the game where you can get a Mustang car for it. The Mustang car is basically useless. It doesn't do anything for you, because you can't pull anything with it. It's not worth the effort of having. It's a look. And also, one of the things that I recommend doing is, when you get the game, if you do get the game, play through the tutorial. It will help you out in so much in levels. It will help you out. It will show you how to play, how to do everything you need to do. It's just it's awesome. It's amazing tactic. So, yeah, there's that. So I hope everybody enjoyed this little tutorial on Farming Simulator 17. It's a great game. I highly recommend it. I will eventually be buying 18 and 19 and 20 and 21 Farming Simulators, just because they look amazing and I want to play them. And Farming Simulator 19 looks amazing. It's amazing because you can actually, it's the first time in the game where you can actually build the house, like you can actually build your own homestead. And yeah, and also, just a little FYI before I forget to tell you guys, in Farming Simulator, the money system is in euros. You can go to the menu button and change it to dollars, so that you can actually see how much money you have. Because the game there is a American, there's a North American farm and a UK farm, and the UK farm it's in euros, so just pounds. So keep that in mind. And thank you for listening to me. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Keep doing what you're doing. And as always, I'm Joel Silva. Keep it oh so smooth.